Hi Year 4, it's Miss Atkin. This is your Thursday's literacy lesson, so you will need your literacy book and your pencil, and you can get started with this video when you are ready. The first thing we are going to do is our Spag Recap. So I just want you to think about what conjunctions have we learnt to use this week. On Monday we learnt about some different conjunctions and then we have used them in some of our Spag Recaps. We have learnt about coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions are the words used to join two clauses that make sense on their own. But subordinating conjunctions are used when the second clause doesn't make sense on its own. So that's what we have learnt so far. These are the contrastive conjunctions that are used to compare one thing to another where they are different or opposite. We looked at these yesterday. They are things such as yet, but, alternatively, on the other hand, although, whereas, while, and however. These types of conjunctions join two different ideas together. We have been learning all about different ideas on zoos, and we will need to use these kinds of conjunctions to join our sentences when we write our debate. As we learnt about these yesterday, you might want to check your literacy book for yesterday's work to see how you used one of these conjunctions. So you can pause the video if you'd like to have a look at your work from yesterday. If not, you can move on because we are going to do our chili challenge. So, because we are going to be using these conjunctions for our sentences in our debate, we need to have a practice. So, your challenge is to use some ideas and a conjunction to build a sentence. So, you need to use two different ideas and join them together with one of these conjunctions. So, for mild, you might use but or however. For spicy, I want you to use however, whereas, or although. And for hot, you might use although, alternatively, or on the other hand. So, for example, I might say, zoos protect ill animals. However, animals are trapped in cages. So that is an example of how I could use a conjunction to join two different ideas. So in your book, have a go at writing a sentence with one of these conjunctions. I've put some ideas about zoos here for you. And so pause the video so you can have a go at that. If you want to do a few sentences, just have a go and use a variety of the conjunctions, or you could just do one. Now we are on to our literacy learning. We have finished Spag, so I just want you to have a think about what we have learnt about zoos. We have done 3 lessons on zoos now, so you should know quite a bit. So I want you to pause the video and you can tell your grown-up or you can make some notes about what we have learnt about zoos. For today's lesson, our learning objective is to summarise. We have learnt lots of reasons why zoos are bad now we need to summarise them. So have a quick recap of the reasons you wrote down yesterday. So the reasons why zoos should be closed and why they are not good for animals. Just to have them fresh in your head, so pause the video and have a look at your notes from yesterday when we researched why zoos are bad. Today, as we're going to summarise opinions, we need to read some people's opinions. So here I have got an opinion of PETA. PETA, we spoke about yesterday, is an organisation for protecting animals. So they want to make sure animals are treated fairly and that they are looked after. So I'll read this opinion. Keeping animals in zoos is a horrible thing to do. Zoos keep animals mainly for public viewing. The bright flashes from people's camera can harm the animals. If you go to the zoo, you will see that the animals spend most of their time trying to escape. These animals are forced to live in cages away from their natural habitat. Zoos are prisons for animals. I just want you to pause the video so you can have a think about what is their opinion. What are they saying about zoos? We know they're saying they're bad, but what are they saying makes them bad? So pause the video so you can have a think. Okay, so now we need to try and summarize this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through what they have said and highlight the things that I can tell make a zoo bad, what they think a zoo is bad for. So, it's a horrible thing to do. Zoos keep animals mainly for public viewing. Bright flashes can harm the animals. And if you go to the zoo, you will see that the animals spend most of their time trying to escape. That's not a good thing, is it? These animals are forced to live in cages away from their natural habitat, and they are prisons for animals. So from that, I can see that this person they don't like zoos. They don't think they're good for animals, and there are some reasons why. So I might start my sentence by saying, Petter think that zoos are a horrible place for animals. I've got my comma because I'm going to use a conjunction so now I'm going to choose some ideas that I have highlighted to give my reasons to summarize their opinion. Because they are forced to live in cages and spend most of their time trying to escape. So I have used two ideas from their opinion to summarize what they have said. You might think you want to use different ideas that they have said to summarize it, because we need to do one sentence to show what their opinion is. Here we have got another person's opinion. They are an environmentalist, so they believe that animals should be in their natural environment. So she said, I am an environmentalist, and I believe that animals belong in their natural habitat and not at the zoo. At the zoo, they are trapped and don't get to socialise with their pack or roam free. Being in a zoo means they don't grow properly or learn to hunt for food. So this causes them to feel stressed and sad. So I just want you to pause the video now and just think, what is her opinion? She's saying zoos are bad, but why does she think they are bad? Now we have read it, I need to pick out the key things that she said zoos are bad for, and then that will help me summarise it. So I'll read it again and highlight as I go. I am an environmentalist and I believe that animals belong in their natural habitat and not the zoo. At the zoo they are trapped and don't get to socialise with their pack or roam free. Those aren't good things. Being in a zoo means they don't grow properly or learn how to hunt. This causes them to feel stressed and sad. So reading that, I could pick out the key points that she says make zoos a bad place for animals. So now I need to write my sentence to summarise it. I'm going to start by saying an environmentalist think that zoos are bad because, so now actually I'm going to change that to as, so I don't use the same word as my last sentence. As animals are trapped and can't socialise, so they feel stressed and sad. So that is how I have summarised this person's opinion. You might choose different ideas to summarise it, because generally we know she is saying that zoos are bad. So your task today is similar to your Tuesday lesson. You have a variety of different people's opinions, and you need to read their opinion and see if you can summarise what they have said into a sentence. You need to read the opinion and highlight the key points that they have said, and that will help you put it into a sentence. There are sentence starters on some of your pages and also on this slide here, in case you need any help. This is how I want you to set it out. I'll change the date. So it's Thursday, the 14th of January. Your learning objective is to summarise. Those need to be underlined, and you might want to set it out like this. So you put the person's name and underline it and do your summary sentence underneath. It only needs to be one sentence. You don't need to write a whole paragraph, just one sentence to summarise what their opinion is about zoos. Once you have done that, that is the end of your literacy lesson for today. So I can't wait to see how these turn out next week when you bring your home learning packs in. And I hope you have a good day.